What up, fam? I'm Dr. De Luna. You are listening to Drop It Like It's Doc podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about some homeopathic remedies that will be very helpful for you along your journey, whether you're talking about birth or postpartum or your baby farting. Here are some great remedies for you. So fam, a lot of people do this by accident and they say that I'm a homeopath. Or when they refer to naturopathic medicine, they say homeopathic medicine. And homeopathy is a tool that many functional medicine doctors, naturopaths, herbalists love to utilize. However, homeopathic medicine is very different than naturopathic medicine. Naturopathic medicine is a whole science and way of looking at the body as a whole, whereas homeopathic medicine is a tool. And some doctors only use homeopathy. In fact, there are hospitals in India that only use homeopathy and have unbelievably amazing results. So I just want that to sink in for a moment. But if you're like, what even is it? Let me walk you through it. So homeopathy is different substances that are from the earth. So this could be plants, it could be heavy metals, it could be crystals, it could be animals, it could literally be venom. And this substance from the earth is diluted and succussed, which means shaken, so that the imprint of the vibration of the substance is put into the water. I know that might sound hippy-dippy, but honestly, it's true, and this happens, and there are a lot of studies that show that you can imprint water. So that is what's happening, and it gets diluted over and over and over again, shook and shook and shook, succussed, and then it becomes more and more powerful. There's no matter left in it by the end. No matter that can be measured, just an imprint, just a vibration on this liquid. And the liquid is usually dropped onto these little pellets. The pellets are sugar pills, really. And the pill is not the medicine, it is what it is holding, which is the vibration that is carried in that liquid. And when you put it in your mouth, the way that I like to think about it is that it is a vibration. So it is telling your body something that needs to happen. It is almost like a song that every single cell in your body can hear and it can align with, and it can drop into that frequency to work on healing. And it's based on this concept that like cures like. So in traditional medicine, a lot of the times we heal with the opposite, right? So, something's hot, you put something cold on it. You have a fever, you reduce the fever, whatever it may be. In homeopathy, let me give you an example. Say that when you are cutting onions, you get really watery. Your eyes start to sting and they get watery. Your nose might even start to run. You might sneeze. So say that you're not cutting an onion now and it's cold time and your nose is running like a faucet, feels spicy, it's burning your upper lip, your eyes keep watering, they're red. Guess what you would take? Homeopathic onion. And it would cure that. It would tell your body to shift that response and healing would take place. So it is a root cause medicine because it's telling your body what to shift without actually taking something to do it, right? And with that being said, it is unbelievably powerful. And also let me take a step back and say that I am well aware that some of you think that I am full of shit, and that is honestly fine. I never want someone to believe anything that I say. I want you to experiment with yourself and I want you to lean into what you resonate with, because some of you are just not going to resonate with homeopathic medicine. And that's probably because it's not your medicine. It's not what you need. You might resonate more with, something physical or acupuncture or tea or whatever. But I will say, if you're open to it, homeopathy is this incredible world of healing. I personally have used homeopathic medicine for mental health, for gut health, for hormone balancing, in my patients, for an array of things. Really amazing to help the body process grief and process big life changes. And I've used more homeopathy in my dogs than in any human. And let me tell you, I hope it doesn't scare you that a lot of my clinical experience is from the dogs. But dogs and animals and babies, they don't have judgments. They don't have a way to say, this is fake. This is a placebo. Honestly, placebo works. So even if it is just placebo, we will take it, but it's not. There are dozens of studies that show how this medicine works and how it can stimulate changes physically, physiologically, at the tissue level, at the cellular level. So let's walk through some things that you could use homeopathy for and some examples. Please know that homeopathy is very, very customized to the person. So, you can go into the store and get something like a cold and flu blend, but typically how you would want to use homeopathy is you would find the weird symptoms, the characteristic symptoms, the ones that you're like, huh? And that's what you would prescribe the remedy on. So for instance, not everyone that gets a cold, their nose doesn't run like a faucet. Some people who gets a cold, maybe they have so much congestion in their nose that it doesn't even pass. Maybe someone else gets really crying and weepy and, wants to go outside, and that's the only place they feel better. So it's those weird things. And by weird, unique is what I shall say. We love uniqueness. Okay. Whatever is unique, that is what you would take the remedy based off of. So oftentimes that means leaning on someone for support. Okay. But I am going to go through some of the keynote symptoms, some of the loud things that you can use some of these remedies for. So I think it would make sense to start with birth because I just did that. And I think it's a really great example as to how you can use some of these remedies. So you may have heard in a previous episode that I am a really big fan of homeopathic Arnica for really anything that is an injury or like a deep-seated bruising sensation. That sensation is if you've been hit by a truck. And I've actually only felt that once, and it was with birth. So homeopathic Arnica is something that you could take before you give birth, but also after to stimulate the healing process. And Arnica, so if you were to get a picture of this remedy, it would be someone who is sore, who feels almost pathetic, but who, when you ask them if they're okay, they say, yeah, I'm fine. But they're not. You see that they are clearly, in pain and their body is healing. So great remedy for that. Say that you were going to give birth and you're starting the process and all of a sudden you get so scared. You feel like it's happening too fast. You feel like something bad is going to happen. You feel yourself in full-blown panic mode. You feel like you're on a train that is never going to stop, which is kind of what birth feels like, to be honest. It does stop. But if you were in that panic, fear, oh no state, not everyone in birth gets into that state. But if you are, you need aconite. Yes, you do. Remember, fam, you are taking homeopathics. You are not taking straight Arnica herb. Oh, no, you are not. You are not taking any of these herbs. You are taking homeopathic preparations, okay? Let's talk about something else that could come up in birth. This actually happened to me. I became so cranky. I was so irritable. Oh, my Lanta, which doesn't surprise me, honestly. I can be irritable. Yes, I can. And I don't hide my emotions. And no, I do not. But for me, I took homeopathic chamomile. And by me, I mean my best friend who was with me at birth was like, open your mouth. You need this because you will not stop fucking whining. And so chamomila. Think about a whiny child that is capricious. So they say they want something, you give it to them. They don't want it. They want to be picked up. They are just, irritable though, just irritable. And you pick them up and then they say, put me down. And they say they want you and then they don't. And then they do not want to be touched. Oh no. That would be a great indication for chamomilla. Some other things that can show up in birth is perhaps you have stage fright. Because when you're giving birth, you are literally on a stage. People are watching you. They are monitoring you. All eyes on you. I actually had to close my eyes because I just didn't even want to see anyone looking at me. There was nothing that I need to see outside. I just need to see inside. But for a lot of individuals, that is an immense stressor. An immense stressor to feel like they need to perform or, that stage fright situation where they are anxious or almost anticipatory anxiety. So this is also a good remedy for partners or people that are in the space supporting the birthing individual. And the remedy that I'm speaking to is gelsemium. So if you have that stage fright feeling where you are, or maybe you are in the birth sphere and then all of a sudden things slow down because someone's watching you or you feel like you're getting judged, gelsemium will knock it. That one would be phenomenal. There's also some remedies that you can take that would actually start the birth process And you would alternate them. That would be colocynthis and colophyllum. Both of those can just help your uterus start to contract and contract regularly. Please know that I don't think that you need to induce your labor, but you might want to. And if you do, that's a tool that you may have not heard of. Those remedies are very much used in that way all the time. Some fun other remedies that could be used in birth. So breech birth is very common. A presentation, and most of the time you will then be told that you can't do a vaginal birth. I will say that you definitely can do a vaginal birth if your baby is breech. However, you need to be aware that a lot of things can happen and that you need to be protected. You probably want someone to monitor you so that if you have to get transferred, you can go. All that matters is that you and baby are safe. And please know that I'm not telling you to birth a breech baby, but I do want to empower you that if that is something you want to do, it can and has been done every day. Thousands of women are actually doing it right now in this moment, and they are fine. However, if your baby is breech, there is a remedy that you can take, and it's called pulsatilla. Pulsatilla is one that I spoke to earlier, and this is for changeable emotional things. So think about it. A baby that's upside down, they might be flip-flopping around, and you want to get them the other way. And by upside down, they would be breech, right? So we want them head down. Homeopathic pulsatilla is used for this, and it can help flippy the baby. But it can also help for any emotional fluctuations in the birth process, where 1 second you're angry, 1 second you're happy, then you're crying, then you're giggling, and it's just all over the place. And it's almost like a windmill. When the wind blows, it changes. When the wind blows, it changes, and it's just making things a little bit chaotic. Amazing for that. Pulsatilla is actually something that I give my dog a lot. I give it to Kira because she gets these really gooey eyes, and pulsatilla is really good for yellow-green goo, but also Kiki's just like emotional. She'll come up to me and she'll just like paw my leg and be like, "Mommy," and I'm like, "Baby," but she's a little jealous of the baby. I cannot lie. That is a wonderful one. Another thing that I would want to know if I was having back labor is that Calibic, which is a homeopathic remedy. Duh, that's what we're talking about. But it can help with the pain of back labor. I've heard it time and time again from individuals who have used it successfully in birth. Once you're done, you're going to want to probably take more Arnica and maybe something else for the mental emotional sphere. Okay. So I love using homeopathy for not only, I mentioned quite a few physical things, but also mental emotional. So it is very safe, very safe. Remember, there is nothing in it. There's no matter in it. It is just a vibration. So you can definitely use this in babies 100%. Not that babies are perfect. Honestly, they heal really, really well. So if you are working on something in you, probably baby will follow suit and everything will, move in the direction of health. But if baby does need some support, homeopathy is really, 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 really safe. It can be really helpful for things like colic, really helpful for gas or maldigestion, or for just crankiness or teething. Holy moly. That Chamomila remedy that I was telling you about is amazing for teething. Something else that I think that you should consider using homeopathy for is that you can use it topically. So you can take these little pellets and you can put it in water, let it dissolve, and then you can take a cloth, soak it in the liquid, and then place it on your body. So this could be helpful for things like mastitis. You could take phytolacca internally. That is the remedy that you would use for mastitis, just classic one. So for those of you that don't know what mastitis is, it is when your breasts become very inflamed while breastfeeding. Maybe you have a clogged duct. It is incredibly, excruciatingly painful. And you do want to continue breastfeeding through that, but something like phytolacca can really help with the pain. Again, you could take it either internally, homeopathic, or you can do it topically with the cloth over your breast. You could also do this for postpartum if you want to support any topical healing. So say that you had a tear or something on your pelvic floor that felt really tender and raw, you could do that with calendula. Soak it and put it on your pelvic floor and let it be there. Or even, a rash on baby skin. Homeopathic calendula. Truly, homeopathic calendula is magical for that. They even have creams that they make with it and things. You've probably seen it before. Game changer, though. It really is. If you have never explored the world of homeopathy and you're interested, it may be time to dip your toe in it. It really might. And remember, you are looking for the things that are unique about your experience. Everyone that is anxious usually feels a busy racing mind, right? Many people that are anxious usually have a fast beating heart and they might get sweaty. Not everyone, when they're anxious, imagines that their front door is open and their dog is going to run out into the street and get hit by a car. So weird things like that, just very unique presentations is how you would find the remedy for you. And if you're like, I have no idea what you are talking about, lean on someone. There's very likely a homeopath in your area, naturopathic doctors. A lot of us love homeopathy. A lot of us don't. I actually, in medical school, there was this doctor who was so left-brained, so scientific, so by the book. If there's not a standard controlled study against it, it doesn't exist, which also, sir, there are many randomized controlled trials against homeopathy. You can just look them up. But also, if you do not believe in energetic healing or vibrational medicine, it might not work for you. You have to believe in what you're doing. And I very much believe. Not only do I believe, I know it works because I see it work every single day on some level. So if you are interested in learning more about it, please leave a comment, like this, subscribe, share this with someone that is interested in homeopathy or someone that's about to give birth, because honestly, I would want almost all of those remedies in my birth bag. I would. And yeah, we'll keep talking about it. Thanks for being open to learn about your body. I love you forever and always.